How are you? How are you? You hear me? Hello Maria, hello Pablo, Nico, Fran, Candela. How are you? Are you there? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Ramon. Thank you. Very good. So now you need to have before you your notes. We're going to correct our last exercises, and you need the first exercise in these notes. We're going to work about simple machines, and I need your contribution for this exercise. So number one, we're talking about a flat surface with one end higher than the other. And the correct answer is, you remember, one, a flat surface with one end higher than the other one. And talking about an inclined plane, a wheel and an axle, pulley, lever. What do you think? What do you think? Flat surface. This is a key phrase. And your answer is? Yes, A. An inclined plane. Yes, this is the correct answer. So, 1, 2. The circular frame greatly reduces the friction encountered when an object is moved over a surface. And in this case, we're talking about, what do you think? Circular frame. What is the answer? The right answer for this question, according to you? I'm waiting for you. A, B, C, D, E, G. Maybe a what? What do you think? Yes, a wheel and an axle. A wheel and an axle. This is the correct answer. Very good. Now, 1, 3. It is a special kind of inclined plane. This is not easy. This is something that there was a scientist in the Middle Ages, in the modern age, that developed a lot of machines based on the inclined plane, and we're talking about Leonardo da Vinci. And in this case, we're talking about a special kind of an inclined plane, and that's not easy, but you have it in your notes. Not easy. No C, no lever. A screw. A screw is no other thing but an inclined plane, okay? That is around itself. Good. 1, 4 consists of a long beam and a fulcrum or pivot. Fulcrum, this is something to support this simple machine, and this is the key word. So 1, 4 is what do you think? 1, 4, an inclined plane with an axle, lever, pulley, wedge, screw, and in this case we refer to, I'm waiting for you. Can't be an inclined plane, can be a wheel and axle. Yes. Now we're talking about lever. Very good. So 1, 5. It uses a wheel with a groove and a rope and Remember, the Spanish for groove is ranura. And we have there a rope to lift objects. And in this case, this is the definition of 1.5. Definition of, you think, an inclined plane possible, lever impossible. Very good, Maria and Candela, talking about a pulley. Very good. So let's go. 1.6. If you put two inclined planes back to back, you get it. So two inclined planes, two of them. And what do you think? The correct answer is an inclined plane, a lever, a wedge, a screw. Remember, two inclined planes. So impossible A, because an inclined plane is only one. And we're talking about, and your answer, talking about, in this case, for you, Maria says E, Victor E, Fran E, yes, a wedge. A wedge is a knife, for example. Okay, very good. 1.7. In some cases, this machine works like a lever to multiply force, like with a door knob, pomo de la puerta, or a fishing reel. This is not easy. This is not easy because maybe you can choose two of them. So it is a machine that works like a lever, so can't be a lever. And in this case is like a lever to multiply force. You could choose two of them. One of them, you write a wheel and an axle, one of them, but the other one could be a wedge. Okay, B or E. Very good. Now go to the next one. So we have 1.8. It is a simple machine used to push two objects apart. Easy. You want to break a piece of wood or maybe a rock. You can't use a pulley. You can't use a screw. You need something different. 1.8. And in this case, the simple machine is, Maria says, wedge. And Victor agrees with her, Fran as well, Diana as well. Good. So talking about a wedge, easy. 1.9. It is a flat surface raised at an angle, like a ramp. Easy. This is the keyword, ramp. So, and that's the definition of 1.9. Remember, 1.9. That's the definition of. Waiting for you. Could be an inclined plane. I don't know. Could be a screw. A screw is not a flat surface. So the correct answer. Very good, Victor. Very good, Fran, Indiana, Nico. Very good. Talking about an inclined plane. Yes. We're finishing this part now. 1.10. In some cases, it is used to move objects easier, such as on a bicycle. So 1.10. And this is to move objects easier. And talking, in this case, You only have to write the letter. Okay, that's enough. So what do you think? What do you think? 110. What do you think? To move objects easier, such as on a bicycle, we need no. Yes, Diana. We need a pulley. A pulley. Okay? A pulley is used to move object easier. You have to develop a lot of force, okay? But you need a pulley to do that. So we're finishing. 111. It is used either as a fastener or as a force and motion modifier. What do you think? A fastener, when you have two objects and you want to set them very close together, okay? Would you use an inclined plane? No. A wheel and axle to fasten, para apretar objects you need. What do you think? It is used either as a fastener or as a force and motion modifier. In this case, the keyword is a fastener. When you have two objects and you want them to set them together. Yes, Victor. Yes, a screw. And finally, 112. It is made up of a straight reed object like a board or a bar which pivots on a turning point called a fulcrum. Again, a fulcrum. And now we're talking about a wheel and axle, a wedge, screw, perhaps a lever, a pulley. Remember, fulcrum. And what do you think? Maria says lever, but she's the only one. Not very sure. Maybe Maria's right, but I don't know for sure. Victor agrees. Only one, Victor, only one. Very good. So, talking about a lever, una palanca, a lever, okay? Very good. Okay, let's move to the next exercise. So you have here the 6 simple machines. There's this one, all of them, okay? What about this first simple machine? What do you think? Can you see my arrowhead moving? This simple machine is what? This is what? A simple machine. This is a rigid bar or a board. This is the fulcrum. This is the point when you apply your force, and this is the load. And this is, Victor says, a lever, and Maria as well. Very good, this is a lever. What about this one? This one, easy to recognize. This is a flat surface, and you have here a load. You can move easier to lift them from the ground to this height. So this is what you think. Talking about this one. What do you think? An inclined plane. Very good. What about that? What is it? Another simple machine. This is the groove. That's the rope, and that's the load. And this simple machine can be used to lift easier some objects. In many buildings, when they are constructing these buildings, they use this simple machine, and cranes, gruas and cranes are full of this. This is a pulley. Very good. You know. What about that? Simple machine? What do you think? What about that? The last one here. This is, what about that? The simple machine is called a what? It's used to set apart, to break apart very heavy objects such wood or a wedge. Very good, very good. You know this is a screw and this is the wheel and an axle. Very good, very good. Now, number 3. So you have here some examples of simple machines. This one is an example in our daily life when we use these simple machines. Can you see it? Can you? So this is a rope and this is a groove, and you apply force here and you can lift these clothes. So, and what is the name for this simple machine here? What is the name for this simple machine here? What's the name? You need to write it correctly. This is called what? Franz says a pulley, but he is the only one. Candela, this is a pulley. Yes, this is a pulley because you have a rope here, you have a groove here, okay? It's because of that you can lift these objects, okay, and set them dry at the same. What about this? A scissors, a pair of scissors, and you have here 2 bars, and this is the fulcrum. This is the fulcrum. You apply force here, and you can put here the load, the thing you want to break down. What is the name? This is a pair of scissors, but the simple machine is what? Fran says a lever. I'm not sure. Fran says a lever. Could be because this is a fulcrum. It's Aaron, a lever. Very good. No. That could be a screw, but this is the fulcrum. So this is an example of a lever. This is an example of a lever. So this is very easy. So talking about this ramp, and what do you think the name of this simple machine could be? What do you think? Hello, Santi. Hello. What do you think is the name of this simple machine? What do you think? Waiting for you. An inclined plane. Very good. And that is an axe used to break down, in this case wood, and it's composed of 2 inclined planes, and you apply force here, and with this simple machine you can break down very heavy objects. And the simple machine is what do you think? Franz says a wedge, but he's the only one. Not very sure. Remember, I need you to take part in this exercise. We are correcting. What do you think? A wedge. Alex, very good. That's easy. Okay, that's easy because you have here a wheel and an axle. Easy. What about that? What about this object? What do you think? So you apply force here. And this is the point when you can find the fulcrum. And here you have the load, but this is the fulcrum. And what's the name for this simple machine? Do you recognize it? What do you think? What do you think? Fran says a lever. Could be. Not sure. In this case, talking about a lever. Yes, Alex, very good, very good. And this is a flight of stairs. What is that? We can find this everywhere. Everywhere, maybe at home. Okay, in the street. What is that? It's a simple machine. And it's used to lift your own weight. And what about this staircase? And these are stairs, you know. And what is the name for this simple machine? Can you see? Can you see my arrow here? What is that? What is that? No, gears, no, Victor, that's wrong. Not talking about gears. Okay, an inclined plane, very good, very good. And this, what is that? What is that? That's used to fasten this object to the bottle. So this is a fastener. What is the name for this simple machine? A simple machine. What do you think? What do you think? Can you recognize it? This is not a lever. This is not a pulley. This is, Fran says, a screw. Yes, this is a screw. Okay, and you have here some answers. We don't have time to do them. Now please go to your notes in your text part. We're talking about gears, and these are gears. In Spanish we call them engranajes, ruedas dentadas in Spanish. Okay, gears. In English you have two of them. Okay, for one gear to work, you need two of them, a set of two at least, and you have two gears. This is a kind of this is a machine element. Okay, and you have here teeth. Okay, all around this frame you have teeth. So a gear is a machine element in which teeth are cut around cylindrical or cone-shaped surface, and a pair of gears transmits rotations and force. Okay, so, and this is interesting because a pair of gears can do two of three things. Remember, you have two gears. One of them is the driver, and the other one the driven or the follower. So in this case, the smaller gear is the drive gear. Okay, and this one is the driven or the follower. So you apply force here. If you apply force here in this direction. The other gear revolves in the opposite direction. So this is clockwise, sentido de las agujas de un reloj, clockwise, and this is anti-clockwise. So this is one of the effects. The other one is you have here a speed. Here you have another different speed. So in this case, the speed of this gear, okay, the biggest gear, is lower than the first one. You have here the explanation. So a pair of gears can do two of three things. Increase speed, this is one of the things. Increase force and change direction. So these are the three things that you can get with a pair of gears. So increase speed. If you connect two gears together and the first one has more teeth than the second one has to turn around much faster to keep up. So this arrangement means the second wheel turns faster than the first one, but with less force. So you have to read that. It's interesting. Then we want to watch some some clips. We have time about that. So the second thing that you can get with a pair of gears is to increase force. If the second wheel in a pair of gears has more teeth than the first one, it turns slower. So this is the other way around, so the opposite to the first the paragraph. It turns slower than the first one, but with more force. And the third thing that you can get with a pair of gears is to change direction. So when two gears mesh together, the second one always turns in the opposite direction. So if the first one turns clockwise means sentido de las agujas de un reloj, like a clock, okay, like the hands of a clock. The second one must turn counter or anti-clockwise. So, and you have here another example of a pair of gears. Okay, now we want to see some video clips about gears, and I beg you to pay attention to them. Pay attention. Oh.
Hey! Hey! I'm Mr. O, here with another moment at the Children's Museum of Houston. Today we're exploring the gears table in the How Does It Work exhibit at the Children's Museum of Houston.
Gears are a type of simple machine, basically wheels with teeth. A gear train forms when teeth interlock, like here. One gear turns another gear. Each gear train has two parts. A driver gear, that's the one that you turn, and a follower gear, that's the gear that gets turned. In one kind of gear train, a large...
Can you see here? This gear has 6 teeth, and this one has a lot of them. Okay? So, and this one, this is the driver. This one, this bigger one, this is the driver gear, and this other gear, this is the driven or the follower. Okay, so if you turn this gear, this one, the follower, to keep up, needs to revolve faster and faster, but with less force.
Each gear turns a smaller gear. This is called gearing up. A gear up train is the sort of system you see in bicycles. When you turn the larger gear, the smaller gear turns very quickly.
Right! In a gear-up train, the follower gear turns faster, so you get more speed. But, like all simple machines, there is a trade-off. Less force is produced by the gears in exchange for the extra speed.
Okay, so the extra speed that gets this gear is compensated with less force. And this is very interesting if you like to ride a bicycle.
Another kind of gear train, a small gear turns a larger gear. This is called gearing down. A gear down train is the sort of system you see in amusement park rides, like a carousel. When you turn the smaller gear, the larger gear turns very slowly.
Correct! In a gear down train, the follower gear turns slower, so you get less speed. The trade-off in this case is more force is produced, even though it has less speed. Let me show it to you a different way. Before we begin, remember, science is fun, but it can also be dangerous, so always have a responsible adult helping you.
We're going to be testing gear trains that gear up and down. We're using Lego gears, but you can also buy gears at hobby shops, hardware stores, or on the internet.
We've built a housing to hold the gears. The gears can be switched out pretty easily with just some minor changes to the axle position. The two strings hanging down allow us to visually see how fast each axle turns, while the weight at each end of the follower allows us to feel how much effort is needed with each type of gear.
So now in this case, we are talking about kind of pulley made with gears. So pay attention.
Our first gear train, we're going to gear up. This large gear will turn the smaller gear. Check it out! The axle with the smaller gear has wound up all the string, but the axle with the larger gear still has lots of string left. Let's do gear down! Look! Again, the smaller gear has wound up all the string, while the larger gear still has lots of string left. Yeah, but it was a lot easier to lift this one up than it was in the gear up test.
That's the point of simple machines, okay? To make the work easier.
But look at these gears. I wonder what would happen if we changed out the gears.
Sounds like something to try at home. Or maybe another episode. This has been another.
Okay, so thank you. Now we have another different documentary. So, and this is about how gears work. But in this case, we're talking about bikes. Pay attention here.
Hey Daisy, let's take a right.
Okay. Oh no, it's a hill.
This is really steep. It's something I've always wanted to try. Is to ride up the biggest, gnarliest.
Can you see the two cyclings? Okay, so in this one, this is a kind of gear, and here you can see another different gear. Okay, pay attention to the difference between the two riders.
Steepest hill in town on my bike.
The steepest hill in the city. Use your gears, Nate.
I can't change gears. I only have one. I was just on a single speed.
I surpassed Nate.
This is so much effort.
Can you see the difference between the movement in the pedals? Okay, so the boy has a lot of difficulty. Okay, finds it very hard to keep up with the girl. Why? And now take a look at the speed of her pedals.
He only had one gear. Not that much effort for me.
Daisy, with the multiple gears on her bike, changed to a lower gear, which made it easier for her to pedal.
I can go into a really low gear that can help me climb up the hill. Come on, Nate.
See you later, Daisy.
Oh, so Nate, you're...
Attention, two gears. In this case, 1 and 2. And this is the driver. This is the driver. And this is the follower or the driven. Okay, so this is the boy's bike. It's that's the reason why he finds it very difficult to move in a steep surface his bicycle.
Your bike only has one gear.
Yeah, it goes from a pretty big gear in front to a pretty small gear in back. So when you go from a big gear to a small gear, it's really hard to pedal. But every time you turn the crank around, the back wheel goes around lots of times.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn it once, okay?
This is the other way. Okay, so in this case, so this is the driver and this would be the follower or the driven. So you need to go faster to move the bike in this case.
About 3 times. Great for speed, not so good for going up steep hills. Oh man.
Now we have my bike up.
On Daisy's bike, there are 3 chain rings in the front. And
Can you see the difference? So here you can see 3 different gears. So with different number of teeth.
7 cogs in the back.
And here you have a lot of gears and can be moved from one to another.
If you have a bike with multiple gears, you can choose a different gear for if you're going up a hill, across flat ground, or going down a hill. Now the bigger the cog that the chain is on, the fewer times around the back tire goes every time we turn the pedals. Now I've got my road bike with multiple gears, like Daisy.
Multiple gears. So can you see them here? Can you see them here? Your riders with a bike, you know a lot of things about that. You have here a lot of gears. Can you see the difference?
We're gonna test how far Nate's bike goes at different gears.
On the lowest gear, my bike rolled about 8 feet for 1 revolution of the pedal. So now I've changed which cog the chain is on the back wheel. I went from a really big one down to a much smaller one. Right there. On a higher gear, the bike rolled about 14 feet for 1 revolution.
Yeah.
The gear we used to go not so far would be great for going up a hill. And that was the biggest cog. Now that I've got my bike with a bunch of gears, and you've got your bike with a bunch of gears, let's go try climbing that hill again.
Let's go. All right, I'm shifting to 1. This is way easier.
Yeah,
What gear are you in now?
I'm in almost my easiest to pedal combo, which is my smallest in front and just about the biggest cog in back.
Here we go.
Nice work, Daisy, we made it.
Yes. My legs are burning.
So, very good, very good. Good. I have more video clips for you, but I'm afraid we don't have time. So, let's go to your exercises for today. Remember, you have to work about exercise number 5. These are funny exercises. So you have to imagine this is the driver and this is the driven. So in the first case, A is the driver and B is the driven. So you move this way. You have to say the movement, the direction of this one, and this is the second case. But in this case, B is the driver, and you have to write here what happens. And then you have some funny exercises. Number 6, and you have to follow. This first gear is the driver. So imagine this is the direction. You have to imagine the direction of this one, and so forth until finally you get here. And you have to say if this load is up or down. And the same for this exercise, and you have some exercises there. Okay, so this is your work. This is your work for today, and I think this is funny. And now we're going to finish this class, and just in some minutes we meet. Okay, good. So see you soon.